Hello, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Congratulations on the film. Congratulations for both completely creeping me out, but also making me laugh because there's a lot of humor there.
Good. I'm glad there is.
When you first heard of Father Amorth, were you surprised to find out that exorcism was a real job? And what was the main draw to bring this character to life?
Well, I was. I had no idea there was an actual official position called chief exorcist for the Vatican. I didn't realize that that would be a thing. I suppose when you think about it, it's probably rational that there would be. But when I first heard about it, I was a bit surprised. What interested me in this film is not just the story that we're telling in the film, but the story of the man himself. He led a very, very interesting life.
He was a prolific writer. So between his books and the amount of papers that are in the Vatican, did you do a huge amount of research to play him? But also, how do you stop yourself from going down the rabbit hole when there is so much material?
Well, that's the thing is you can't really stop yourself from going down the rabbit hole. You got to slide down a little bit. You got to really check it out. So I spent some time in Rome. I met with people that had worked with him, met with people that knew him for a long time, met with people that had actually been part of exorcisms with him and got their sort of first-hand testimonials. Obviously, the vast majority of what he's written is in Italian, so you can only access that which has been translated. But I found all that very, very interesting, and it was a great privilege, really, to be able to meet and talk to those people and find out a little bit more about the core of who this guy was.
You've obviously played real life people before. So the more you do it, does that responsibility ever lessen, or do you always kind of feel the responsibility to the real person to do their story justice? You kind of go, you know what, I'm good at this now. I'm okay.
Um, well, the level of responsibility changes, Sometimes it's your responsibility playing a real person to, bring a sort of like, the core of who that person was to the fore or the heart of what they were attempting to do or whatever. And other times, you might be playing an historical figure who was a bad person. And in that case, what you're trying to do is actually sort of maybe shed light on where those cracks were and where those differences are and how that person regards himself to stand above the law or whatever it happens to be that they did. Sure, you definitely feel a responsibility when it's a real person. For this movie, in what the studio are trying to achieve, I've taken a lot of license. This is not like something like A Beautiful Mind or Cinderella Man where I've taken great pains to look physically exactly the same as the character, etc. The timeline for the photographs we have of Amorth and when he actually started his job are very different. So we've got a lot of footage of Father Amorth in the later stages of his life, but not very much from when he was a younger man. So I just went with establishing a character look that, felt like he would stand out in a crowd of other priests, so, which I think, Father Amorth did, so, yeah, I mean, I take that responsibility on board. I'm probably not as tense about it as I was when I was a younger fella, I definitely was, very concerned when I was doing things like Jeffrey Wigand or whatever to honor the man at the center of that particular story, But with this, I think one of the things I really found out about Father Amorth on the research is just how deep a sense of humor he had. So I wanted to bring that to the character, So I've done that in various ways in the look and in his attitude and his sort of the way he considers some things very deeply, and the way, and other times he might just shrug something that somebody else thinks really important off, So I've just tried to bring that sense of humanity and humor to the role as well.
That humor is what really makes it stand out from other films in the genre. So I love that aspect of it. One of the things I have to ask, of course, is obviously I'm here in Ireland, and I have to ask, did you enjoy filming here? And how was that?
I really did. It was just, we got, I think, a magical run of weather. I have to say, when you're watching the nightly news and they announce there's going to be 4 days of 25 degrees, and that's considered to be a heat wave, from an Australian perspective, that was a bit of a knee slapper. I thought that was quite funny. But, I mean, it's like late, well, it's autumn here, and it was 30-something the other day. I really did. I loved working on. The crew was fantastic. Where I was living was spectacular. I used to ride my bicycle to work most days down through Bray, and I
My
got.
hometown.
Is it really? Man, what a cool place! What an unsung place that is. You go onto that beach and the way the buildings meet the sort of the sea there. It's just beautiful. Yeah, and we also shot in Limerick, but we shot a lot in the city in Dublin as well. We shot in Trinity College and a few other places, and the town hall, and then over on the north side as well. So, we got about a fair bit. Yeah, but it was a great experience, beautiful experience, fantastic.
And just very quickly, you're straddling both kind of horror, supernatural, and biopic. So, what do you want audiences to take away from the film?
Well, I think we're straddling other things as well, because this has elements of the Da Vinci Code. Just a little bit of Indiana Jones. There's quite a few flavors in here. What do I think I want the audience to take away from it? I want them to have been thoroughly entertained. That's the idea of a movie like this.
And now I can't help but say, are you not entertained? I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I had to say it.
It's all
Listen,
good.
thank you so much for today. Best of luck with the release, and it was great to talk to you.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Cara.